everybody, welcome back to my channel. Hello vlogsters, grab your coffee. Today we have our friend's cup. This was a gift for my 50th birthday. Thank you very much. I love it. Today we have regular coffee with Italian sweet cream. It has been sitting here for about an hour. Because, tell you the truth, I always tell you the truth, but I don't know what to say. I don't want to cover the microphone, but my right ear, let me see if I can't work my right ear better. Hold on. Let me see if I'm still connected. Okay, there we go. It makes a noise when it connects. I have a new, first of all, let me apologize for, not apologize, but let me tell you why I didn't have a vlog or a video up yesterday, because yesterday was the 30th anniversary of the passing of my mom. And I didn't know how I felt about it. It also was the 11th month anniversary of my brother's passing, which a lot of 11s yesterday. So I wasn't feeling it, you know, and I didn't want to I don't want to constantly vlog a complain vlog. I mean, or whatever's going on. Obviously, that's not my intention ever. I love to inspire, not just to sit here and tell you like, woe is me. So, I just was like, you know what, just let me keep the day to myself. And last night laying in bed, Jim's like, well, what can you put together? And I was like, no, Jim, I'm taking the day off. So I did that. It was it's always bittersweet. You know, it's like we always do it as a celebration of her life. She was a very, very, very amazing woman who, she impacted so many people's lives that, in all honesty, we had to open the funeral parlor up with a whole nother room and add an extra day to her service, because so many people wanted to come and couldn't get there, like couldn't all go within the time. You know, like they say they do like a 6 to 9, the 3 hours at night or whatever, and there wasn't enough space for everybody to do a visitation. So she had, when you go to someone's funeral or wake, you sign in the little book. We had 2 books. I had over 400 thank you cards to write. And that was just people who signed in and sent flowers. A lot of people don't sign in, and a lot of people don't send flowers. Or cards, like send flowers or cards. But she was amazing. And I think about her every day. I thought about her when I turned 49. I thought about her when I turned 50. Like, especially, like a lot. When I got married, obviously. When I met Jim, obviously. When I started my new job, obviously. Oh, at AHRC back then, you know. When Rob was a teenager and we were dealing with teenager things, of course, I tried to channel her. So, I've always tried to make her proud. I just didn't realize that's what I was doing. When I was getting married, my sister Jane, hi Jane if you're watching, wrote in my card at my shower with the gift that mommy would be so proud of me. And I'll tell you the truth, it's hard to even say. It wasn't until that moment that I realized that was my goal. My goal in my whole life has to make my parents proud, whilst making myself happy, while serving the Lord, that kind of thing. So, I think at that time I had just completed my 15th year of teaching catechism, which is like Catholic, like after once a week religious program. I worked for AHRC for about 2 years back to AHRC for 2 years because I worked there for a year before in the early 90s. And then I went back in the late 90s. There was just so much, you know, there was just so much that that I didn't realize. So I know I made a dedication video to her once before. I feel like it was on her birthday on Mother's Day. I talked a lot about her, but she was just amazing. She had my brother when right out of high school. She was just turned 18. And then they waited, you know, they got married. They waited to settle a little bit. I think I remember her saying she had a miscarriage somewhere. Then she had my sister Jane. And then they moved to the suburbs right after Jane was born. Then they had Alicia the next year and Julie the next year. And then 2 years later, they had Kathleen, but she was stillborn. And then a year after that, they had me. I was a rainbow baby. And then they had Rob. And my mom turned 40 when Rob was born. So she was 40 when she actually had him, which is why he was so young when she passed away. But I had just turned 21. I had just started to become an adult. And I know that you turn an adult when you're 18 and kind of, but really for me, being in the position I was in my family, I was kind of kept in the dark about a lot of things for, I guess, protect the baby and her emotions, or don't tell Jeri she's emotional, or I really don't know why, to be honest with you. But whatever it was, it was. So that's why I really didn't feel like I started to grow up until I was 20, 21. Just when my mom got sick, it sort of flipped the switch, you know. So it was a bittersweet day because we do celebrate her and all of her achievements and all of her life. But it's also like, wow, 30 years, you know. And then, of course, this year being extra emotional. I called my sister because I thought that she would be alone because normally she has either my brother or my sister to go with. But, of course, my brother's passed and my sister was away. So I called her to say I was thinking about it. And she's like, no, I have Aunt Mary's here. And I was like, oh, Aunt Mary is my mom's second oldest sister. She's the one that I tell you guys is like the exception to the rule. She just has been, she's an amazing woman. She's just worked her whole life. But I had a good day. So normally we go out to eat a meal out in a restaurant because it's how it started was my mom would get, my dad would leave my mom bills, money to pay the bills and put in the bank. He got paid on Thursday night. So Friday, she would take the money, she would put in what she needed for the bills into the bank and take everybody to lunch. And just treat for lunch on Friday. Like as our finances got better in our family, like when we were younger, it was different. When we got older, it was when she started taking everybody to lunch. I figure I was like 16, so, and I was working. Some of my other siblings had moved out of the house already, so it wasn't as expensive to live. You know, we didn't have such a struggle those days. But so she would take everybody to lunch, and it became like a running joke, you know, not a joke necessarily, like a running bit. We used to go every Friday, you know, like every Friday, Mom, where are we going to lunch this week, you know? And then sometimes she would say, you know, hey, it's a little tight this week, or, I mean, she was working, so she worked too. So it's not like, you know, she wasn't just taking my dad's money, but she knew by the time he got paid what she would need for the week kind of thing. That's what I mean. So, we would go to like the Ponderosa or Sizzler. If you guys don't know, those are like, the Ponderosa is like a buffet. The Sizzler is like a buffet, like a steakhouse with a buffet. So she was really into all you can eat, like, you know, so after she passed away, we used to go to Sizzler, and then it closed. And then we tried to find another alternative. So we started to go to, we found a Chinese buffet, and then that closed. And then we used to go to her favorite Chinese sit-down restaurant in Rockville Center, Palace of Wong. And then that eventually closed. But I was already here when that closed. So it was like, you know, we always do something that she liked, we enjoyed. So it got to the point yesterday, and I was talking to my sister, and she's like, we were going to go here, but, you know, I said, well, honestly, Alicia, at this point, really nothing that she loved is open anymore. You know, like, there was an Italian restaurant that she, like one, you know, we always would, on our way home from the softball game, stop at this Italian restaurant, or if we were in town, we would get this Italian restaurant, like whatever, you know what I mean? So, she was going to go to this one, and they had, she'd reserved a table, and then they had the whole room was filled up for a police, like a business, you know, came in, and I forgot they reserved the whole room or whatever. So she ended up going to like a pub, which was good. My mom used to frequent that pub, not often, but, you know, occasionally. So she went there, and I said, well, at this point, I wanted to be able to eat the same thing she was, but since we couldn't land on where she was going, we just decided to get Chinese food. And I couldn't go out. I obviously can't go out, but we just had Chinese food delivered in, which was nice. I know it was budgeted, so it was good. I had, you know, budgeted the money this month because we knew the celebration was coming. Well, we didn't know where we were going to end up going, so that was why. You just have to budget extra, so. So it was really nice. Obviously the Chinese food here is nothing compared to the Chinese food in New York, but it still had that same feel, you know. So, let's see. Oh, and then last night, Jimmy and I watched a movie, and it was really sweet. He just stayed with me and watched a movie, and I would occasionally just, like, cry and smile and start talking about whatever. So it was nice. We sat and talked for a little bit before the movie, which was really good. He was having a rough time yesterday, and I said, today of all days, I'm sorry this happened, because I don't know where emotionally capable I am of taking care of you right now. And he said, you know, after he calmed down, we talked, and he said, I'm really sorry. I said, you can't control it. Like, when something triggers you, you can't really, you could try, talk yourself down, but you can't control when it happens, you know? So anyway, it was good. But today I just wanted to come on here and talk about all the good things, you know, like, I have spent every day, just like going through the motions of waiting for the approval on my MRI for my thigh. I could just go get my knee done, and the lady I talked to today, she's like, why aren't you getting the procedure done before you wait for your approval? And I was like, well, I didn't know that was a choice. She's like, oh, I see. I said, okay. That's all she said. She didn't say like, oh no, it's a choice, let's go. But okay. So yeah, I'm kind of confused, but about that too, now that I think about it. But anyhow, I digress. So every day I sit here and I'm just like playing the waiting game, and I connect with friends that I haven't connected with in a while, and I connect with family members that I haven't connected with in a while, and it's really nice to hear from people. My family, like my sisters, I told my sisters what's going on, but like my cousins and stuff didn't have any idea that anything was going on. So it kind of went through the chain yesterday about, you know, I don't, regardless of how I come on here and tell you guys everything, I don't call up my whole family and be like, hey, by the way, I have to have this done. I tell that to my sisters, so my sisters are aware. I don't want to keep them in the dark of what's going on in my life, kind of thing. But I don't shout it from the rooftops. Because I feel like this is enough. Telling you guys, I tell enough people. You should be family, you should be watching my vlogs. And I'm just kidding. But anyhow, so I just spend every day here, and every day I try to find a joy in the day. And obviously, you know that I've done that my whole life. So I always try to find the silver lining. I look for the joy in the moment. I look for the joy in the day. Sometimes it's really difficult. I won't lie. Sometimes it's really difficult. But then you just have to, sometimes it's just as simple as, hey, I'm still here. Hey, I'm still 6 feet up. You know what I mean? Like, I'm still above ground. I'm still above the grass. But some days it's like, I'm blessed to have the situation that I have right now with my husband. And yes, we did say financially he probably would have to go back to work now. But like, situationally, can he go back to work now? We were discussing that yesterday, and I'm like, yeah, actually, I think you could, because I'm doing much more. I'm able to do much more by myself right now. The only thing this week is I'm grateful that he's not working this week, because I feel like I'm going to hear any day now that I can go get my MRI. And this way we could just like make the appointment for tomorrow and throw me in the back of the van and go, kind of thing. So, because they do have it down as urgent. So I don't know if it's urgent, why, I don't know. It's very confusing. But anyway, if he has to start looking for a job outside of the home, then, that's where we're at. But I did tell him, I said, I'm able to do more self-care. Obviously, I'm not allowed to bear weight on my legs. So I told him, I was like, if you could set me up in the morning with like the cereal bars, and I can have this, that, and the other thing. I was like, I'll be okay to take care of myself. I can go to the bathroom by myself. I can clean myself after the bathroom. I can even apply my own medicine. Now, he applies the medicine to my leg, the Voltaren cream, and that's done every 4 hours. So he does it at 10, 2, 6, and 10. But I really can do it myself. It hurts my hip to do my knee, if that makes any sense. But I could, because I can try to like do it sitting up. The thing is, it makes a mess, and it's just like, it's so much more convenient for him to do it, but I can do it myself. That's what I told him. I'm like, I can do it myself. You don't have to do this. You can go work. And if money is stressing, money is stressing him out. I'm hopeful, and I pray every day that it'll work out, that something will click, something will trigger, and it'll work out. But I just don't know. Half the time, I just don't know what's going to work, You can never tell. Anyway, I was like, you can go find work. I said, I'm okay here by myself. You don't have to. He goes, I check up on you every 2 hours. I was like, yeah, but you don't have to, if you, even now, you do my medicine. It's the only reason we talked about him. He likes to have a schedule. So we talked about him coming in every 2 hours on the even hours type of thing. And the reason we started that was because I would call him before he's just getting ready to do something. And I was like, well, just if you check on me before you start doing something, that'd probably be best to make sure I don't need anything. But the truth is, he can do that all in the morning. Like before he goes to work, he can get my coffee, fill my waters. I'll be okay. And I said, the worst case scenario is if I ever drink enough water, Mom's here and she can fill my water for me. She knows how to use the water dispenser in the refrigerator. She offered to help whenever we need it. So don't stress yourself about it if, look, my rings are falling off. I'm losing weight, guys. My rings are falling off. I said, I'm going to fling this across the room. Sorry, digress. So I said to her, I'm like, she offered to help. She's here. She'll ask me if I need anything. That's fine. I don't need you to, I love that you're here, but you don't have to be here for me like you were before. In the beginning, when I didn't know, I didn't want to do anything to hurt myself. And it was very painful. But now I'm on a medication that is helpful. It's so helpful. It really is giving me such relief. I feel like that if my knee wasn't a problem, that I would be able to like get up and do my life. Like if it was just my hip has enough relief right now to like start doing physical therapy. Does that make sense? It does still hurt and it is kind of like still stiff, but I feel like it's not so much pain that I could bear to walk on it. But obviously that you have to build up. So, start walking to the couch or start sitting. And I've been sitting on the edge of the bed for more and more moments, like 5 minutes at a time now. I tried to sit up in bed yesterday. I think it's the whole straight leg sticking out thing with my knee. So we tried even putting a pillow under it and it just was no bueno. When you sit on the edge of the bed and your legs go down, your muscles do different things too. So your hips go in different alignments. And so I think that's just different. Because I said to Jim yesterday, I said, if I could just sit up in bed, my life would be so much better. Like I could do housework and I could do crafts. I could do whatever, just sitting up in bed. Because if it was just my knee that I had to like not put weight on, I could do whatever I almost cursed. I could do whatever I want. I could do whatever I could. Like I can fold laundry. I can do meds. I could balance the books. I can work on the computer. I could, the sky's the limit, really. Obviously with his help getting me stuff, obviously. But I first started my channel, I crafted in bed because I didn't have the craft space at the time because it was a brand new channel. I didn't want to craft in the kitchen. I didn't want to disturb my mother-in-law by doing a lot of stuff in the living room. So I used to craft in bed. My first craft videos were in bed. My original bow tutorial and my glass frame with the sayings in the middle, like that was all from bed, Actually, quite a bit was. Now that I think about it, I did a lot from bed. Because I wasn't sure how if I needed to make a more permanent space. So crafting from bed would not be a problem at all. But I can't sit up. The combination of knee and leg, and I honestly think that maybe I do have a fracture in my femur and it was what's causing the pain to be exacerbated. Like it's more than just normal hip pain or normal knee pain. I feel like there's a jolt between them. So either I'm pinching a nerve somewhere. I just can't wait for this MRI to tell me. I'm just be like, am I crazy? Like I was saying, Lisa has the same hip issue. She has hip dysplasia as well. Sorry, Ma, if this was a secret. So I think I told everybody already though. So she's also bone on bone. She's like, but you're in excruciating pain. Like, why are you in so much pain? And I was like, honestly, I thought maybe because she had babies and I didn't. Like, her pain tolerance was probably much higher than me. I said, well, I weigh more. That's definitely a factor. But I don't know. Like, other than that, I don't know. And now that I'm up on the same the same amount of medication as she is, I see that that does help. I mean, I could see that that's definitely a huge difference. But also that the fact that there's another issue, an underlying issue here, that's really causing the big pain. So, but anyway, so I'm just like, I'm hopeful for the day that I can sit up in bed again. I am hopeful for the day that I can get this MRI and get some answers. But it's what I do. I'm kind of just like living my social life right now. I am trying to connect with my friends or you guys over like social media. I am, just watching like random movies because I can't really see the TV well. So I have to watch movies with if I don't want to put too much effort into watching the movie. Let's put it that way. I just put on a movie that I've seen a lot, like 13 Going on 30 or What did I put on yesterday? You've Got Mail. Like, just movies that I just have seen millions of times. So the silicone straw idea is really good, but it leaks. After I pull it out of my mouth, it always tries to drip on me. So trying, like, and then one of the things that I have been doing, and it's mostly in my head, and a little bit on the tablet, like, because the tablet you can draw in the notes. Sorry, I have something in my eye. Is I've been plotting my artwork layout in the room. I do like to do a couple of different things and then run it by Jim and see what his ideas are, or which one does he like best. Like, that's how I like to design stuff. Obviously with him. So there's that, and I'm kind of like on the fence about the curtain situation. So I love these. They have to get washed. He wants to put up the blackout curtains, the gray ones, because it's so warm. The reason we were going to do this in the spring was we could pull them down, open the windows, clean the windows, and wash them and put them back up the next day without baking in the room. But obviously our spring was like 2.5 weeks long. And we weren't ready to do this part yet. We did curtains from other rooms, but we didn't do this one. And it just got too hot. Like, it's too hot to take them down there in the day, and this room would just bake, especially since I have to be in here. But even before I had to be in here, it's too hot. It's way too hot. This window here is east facing, and that one is south facing. So you can imagine I got all the day sun, until the afternoon. But anyhow, so he wants to swap the curtains out. Sorry about that. What was I going to say? Then we were thinking about maybe just leaving up the gray ones, but I really like the white ones. I don't know. Kind of like on the fence about it. We could live with the gray ones for a little while. They're very, very light colored gray. They almost like the same colors as the walls. A little bit darker than the walls. So that's what I've been doing. I've been sitting here. I've been designing. I've been working on plans for the office. Jim said he wants to start working in the office today via FaceTime. So I think he's going to take the camera. He'll record what he's doing, use his phone to FaceTime with me so that I can talk about what he needs to do or what the plans are for the things. Because we really have to get going. Because if he does have to go back to work, I would hate for him to have to just do the office on the weekends, because he would just be so tired. He physically and mentally just can't handle working on the weekends after he's worked during the week. And let me tell you something. There's a lot of judgment out there. A lot of people do a lot of judgment. But everybody is different. Everybody has different things that they can handle. Lisa and I were talking about the hip. She can handle it better than I can. Why? I don't know. It could be many reasons. Maybe the bone spurs are different. Maybe that's what's different. Maybe I'm pinching a nerve that you're not. Maybe, who knows? So maybe we just handle things differently, So it's the same thing. Like, okay, yeah, my cousin's husband worked 50 hours a week and came home, and every evening he did something around the yard or around the house, and then on the weekends he was just like work around the house, work around the yard. And like Sunday he would just like party. Like, that would be like his day to just like celebrate and party and do whatever minimal amounts of stuff. That's great. Oh, I'm so happy for them. But Jim's not like that. My husband's not like that. I'm not like that. I'm not anymore. And Jim was when we first met 20 years ago, but he's not anymore. It's what it is. And there's so many people out there who judge, like, oh, he should do this and he should do that. I'm like, well, up yours, because you do that. Maybe your husband does that, but my husband doesn't do that. So it's so weird. It's so weird. Like we all want to have individuality. We all want to have our own thoughts and opinions, but we are so quick to make people fall under our standards of what we think is right and wrong. Isn't that weird though? Don't you think that's weird? I think that's so weird. And then of course there's a whole other side to this, like people who judge. It's just like, it's just blows my mind away because the reasoning is just. So anyway, that's what I've been doing while I've, trying to find joy in the moment of having to lay in bed. Hi, everybody. Thank you for being here. Take care. God bless. We'll see you tomorrow for the conclusion of this vlog.